Good to meet you.
Hey, my name is Annie. I'm a tech consultant based in Stockholm. And in today's tutorial, I will show you how to create a video from an image using Van 2.5. I will be giving away this template for free. You just need to like this video and comment n8n in the comments. But now let's get started. The first action in our workflow is form. In order to choose the form, you will click on the plus button and then you will type form and you will choose n8n form. Now let's double click on the form so you can see all the setups. You can see that we don't need to choose an authentication here. Form title can be on form submission. You don't need to enter any description. Then you have to enter two form elements. First one is field name. And here you can write image description. Now, this is the description that will be sent to API in order to create video from your image. So for that reason, we want to choose text area, which means that you can write a paragraph. Then we will choose image and the type will be file because here you will actually submit the image that will be used to create a video. Also, we will enable multiple files so that you can choose a couple of files for creating your video. The next one is upload file, and we will choose Google Drive for that. Upload file. The reason we are using this action is because we want to upload images from our local computer into Google Drive so that later on Van API can access those images via URLs. And now, under resources, you will choose file and then operation will be upload and input data. This is the name of your form. Let me show how exactly it will look like if I choose a file from my own computer. In the Google Drive, when you are choosing input data field name, then you need to choose the name that is the same as the form name. And here you can see the form name is image. So that is what you will enter under input data field name. Next, you have file name. And in order to find file name, here you will change from binary to schema. And you will look for file name. This is the file name. And you can just drag and drop this file name in here. Then parent drive. So this is basically where the image should be saved. And for us, it's my drive because it will be saved in your Google Drive. And then from here, you can choose the folder in your Google Drive where the image is to be sent. The tricky part is Google Drive account, which means how should n8n connect with Google Drive. If you, for example, click on this arrow, you can choose create new credentials, and you can see that you need to enter client ID and client secret. The question is how and from where should you get client ID and client secret? I will show you how to do it. You will go to console cloud google.com. And from here, basically, you will create a new project. You can see that I have already my n8n project, but if you don't have it, no worries. You will just click on new project and you will create a project. And once that is done, you will come into your project and then from left side, you will choose APIs and services. And from there, you will choose consent screen. Now it opens up, and from here you will click on client. And you can see that I have already created my client, but I will show you how to do it. You will click on create client button. You will choose application type, web application. And then that is basically it. You will create here. And now you can see both your client ID and you can also see your client secret. And what is important is that you need to save your client secret somewhere because you will not see it after that you created it. The next step is sending HTTP request. So what HTTP request does it gets the images that we submitted and the video description and sends those to n8n. So basically it says to n8n, those are the images and this is the video description. Create a video for me. If we double click on HTTP request, you can see that the method is post, and under URL you can enter directly n8n URL if you like that, but in my case I'm using Fal.ai. If you don't know what is Fal.ai, Fal.ai is a third company that is giving users access to different APIs. So if you have an account in Fal.ai, you don't need to only use n8n's API, but you can even use APIs for example, VO3, or you can use ChatGPT or Cloud APIs or Perplexity APIs. So for me, it makes sense to top up my Fal.ai account with, for example, $10 so that I can then use all the other APIs as well. It's just easier and saves me time to have just all those set up at one place. So that's why I'm using Fal.ai. But if you don't like it, just use directly n8n's API. So now let's look into here and understand what we should get from this API documentation. So here we will choose HTTP C URL, and then we will read API documentation to understand which URL should we use. You can see that it says that the URL is this one, so that is exactly the same URL that I'm using in the post request. Then when it comes to authentication, you will choose generic credential type, and then generic auth type will be header auth. And I have already done that, but I will show you how to do it because it normally is quite tricky to do this. So you will just click on this button, and here basically what you will do, the name should be authorization, and then the value should be key and space and your Fal.ai API key. Now, if we go to Fal.ai and we scroll down here in the documentation, you can see that it describes that this is the URL that we specified, and then under that we need to have in the header we should have authorization. So that's what you will have here in your credentials. Under the name you will write authorization, you will create key, and then you will have a space, and then you will enter your Fal API key. And now you might be asking, how should I create my Fal API key? And I will show you that as well. You can search from here API key, and then you can see that API key button pops up, and here you will click on add key and then create key, and your API will be shown. You will copy that and you will go back to n8n and you will use it here. So that's basically it. Now the next part is body content type. There you will choose role, and content type will be application JSON. And here if I open this one, so here basically you are choosing the prompt that you submitted on your form submission. So that's what we entered here. You can see that this is a variable. And then for image URL, we are choosing the URL for our file saved in Google Drive. Also here resolution, we are just giving that the video should have this resolution, and duration I have 10 seconds, you can have 5 seconds as well. And it's also important to know, of course, if you are creating 10 seconds videos, then it costs more than 5 seconds. And then we are all set up and we can go to the next action in this workflow. The next module in this template is wait. So the reason that we are using wait here is because it can take between 1 to 5 minutes for one API to create the video. So that is why we will wait 20 seconds and then we will check the status endpoint to see if video is in progress or it is completed. And if it is completed, we will go to the next step where we are getting the video. But if it's not completed, then we will wait another 20 seconds and we'll check the status again. Now, in order to get wait module, you will click on the plus button and you will type wait, and the first one is the one that you will get. If I double click on the wait module, you can see that all it does, it just waits 20 seconds. And of course, you can update 20 seconds to 30 seconds or 40 seconds. It's totally up to you to define. Then we are sending HTTP request. And if I double click on that, you can see that I'm using the URL for status. What it does, it is returning the status on the right side. Right now it is completed, but if we had to check this just a couple of seconds after we submitted the request, it would have been in progress. And then the authentication part, it's exactly the same as I showed you in the beginning of this video. So you use the same authentication for all HTTP requests to Fal.ai. Now let's go out of this one. Then we have the if condition. And what if condition does, it is getting the status URL, exactly the same one that I showed you before. And it is checking if the status is equal to complete or not. So if it is completed, then this if condition will return true. But if it is something else than completed, then it will return false. Now, if we go out of this one, you can see that when it is returning to false, which means that status is not completed, then the loop is repeating itself. It will still wait another 20 seconds and it will try to get the status one more time. And this can repeat itself many times. And as soon as it returns true, then it will go to the next step, that is get video step, which is also an HTTP request. If I double click on that, you can see that what it does, it is calling response URL with get method. And it is getting an MP4 video. You can see this is the URL. And that's basically what we need, because MP4 is the format that we can use in any web browser like this, and we can open the video.
Good to meet you.
But that's it for today. And again, I'm giving away this template for free. Just like this video and comment n8n below and I will send it to you. Bye and have a good day.